In 2013, Mitch Weiss decided to take a path any lesser man wouldn't dare travel. He now finds himself training to become the Midwest's most knowledgeable sports broadcaster. Focusing on Big Ten and Detroit sports teams, he decided to create a dwelling where his training would go undisturbed, a cave. More specifically, the man cave.
No girls allowed.
Mitch enlisted a team of highly sophisticated cavemen into his service to assist him in his tireless search for, well, sports stuff. When they're not sleeping, eating, or, oh yeah, they're analyzing sports, as best a caveman can. You have now entered the man cave.
Danny Weiss is the youngest member of the Cavemen. Standing 6'4" and a fluffy 243 pounds, this Homo erectus enjoys hunting but will also gather from time to time. He has a striking resemblance to Man-Bear Pig and often laughs at his own jokes. At 5'11", 190 pounds, Milton Marcus Lafayette O'Quinn III has the daunting task of being the president and only member of the Joey Harrington fan club. When not watching sports, he enjoys candlelit baths while listening to his favorite album, Big Willie Style. Daniel D-Mac McDonald comes in at 6'1", 200 pounds and hails from the inner city of Bloomfield Hills. He enjoys enjoyable things, sleeps when he's tired, and hopes that one day Ryan Gosling will get a tattoo of Sparty on his chest.
Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Mitch.
And this is the Man Cave.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mitch's Man Cave. I'm your host, Mitch Weiss, and I'm down here with the Cavemen. I hope everybody enjoyed their first weekend of summer. That's always a good sign of the season. I had a chance to go out on the lake this weekend, and that was on Sunday. On Saturday, I gave Charlie a bath. Charlie's my dog, for those of you who don't know. Gave her a nice bubble bath, and she was smelling fresh and feeling really soft. And she usually won't go into the water, whether it's a pool or a lake, on her own. Usually I have to go in there first, and she'll follow in. So we went out on our friend Joel's boat, and we had to come back to the dock to pick up a couple more people who arrived late. And so we went out onto his beach area and kind of threw the frisbee around for a little bit, ate some food, and wouldn't you know it, that the day after I gave her this bath, she decides to dart right into the lake right when we pull up to the dock, which was a first for her, and it made me both happy and upset at the same time because it was nice to see her go into the lake on her own, but all of my time spent bathing her went to waste, and now she smells like Watkins Lake.
You never give me bubble baths anymore.
Yeah. Charlie just walked up to us in the man cave. I was wondering what kind of smelled so bad. Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah, it's not me. It's Charlie.
It's the dog.
This time it's the dog.
Yeah.
Friday night, I went over to a friend's house there was about 15 people. Milt, you were there.
Yeah.
About 15 people.
About 15 honeys.
And we attempted to play a game of Clue. And let me tell you, Clue while inebriated is a lot harder than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I had a really tough time paying attention to everybody's clues.
I could not grasp the concept. I still don't know how to play Clue.
It was probably a pretty entertaining game to watch from the outside.
So who did it?
I still don't know. I don't think we ever figured it out.
We gave up. We
Yikes.
just said, good day.
You got to keep it simple.
He got away.
Yeah.
I mean, what's more
Scotch
important at the
me.
end of the day, having a good night or finding who killed someone else?
Well, it depends. Are we talking about Aaron Hernandez here or just a simple game of Clue?
That's alleged.
Ow.
This clue is someone who actually murdered.
Oh.
Aaron Hernandez is an alleged murderer.
He's innocent until proven guilty.
This is America, right? We're not in Canada?
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty close.
Double checking.
Well, this Saturday, got to see the good old Tigers play at Comerica. And it was a hot weekend for those of you who weren't in Michigan. It was upper 80s, low 90s, and got to see a great game. They played the Red Sox, and Tigers won 9-2. Victor Went-Yard had a grand slam, and it was just a great day to be in Detroit. If you've never gone downtown and checked out the bars or been to a game, Detroit downtown is gorgeous, and I'd highly recommend anyone who's never done it to check it out.
Especially on game days. It's really a great atmosphere down there on game days.
Gorgeous is a strong word.
It's gorgeous in its own way.
Downtown's gorgeous in my eyes.
Saturday night, I watched this really strange movie. It was called The Dreamers. Have any of you guys seen it?
Nope.
Nah.
It's from, I think, 2003, and the main actor is Michael Pitt, who is in Boardwalk Empire. I can't think of his character's name off the top of my head, but he is a foreign exchange student in Paris, and it's set in 1968 during the student riots against the police. And he befriends French twins, who are male and female twins, and the twins are in love with each other.
What is this, Game of Thrones?
It's really a weird movie, but I actually liked it. Don't judge me. It was a good movie. It was well done. It was kind of graphic. And there were some things that I probably didn't want to see that I did, but overall it was a strange and
How'd you come
good
across this movie?
I was just scrolling and I saw it, and I read
incest in your...
I read the plot, and the plot didn't have any mention of incest or twins being in love. It was just foreign exchange student befriends French twins in 1968 during riots. I was like, okay, it could be a good story. And then I'm seeing, twins sleeping in the same bed together. I won't get into it, but, you guys can use your imagination.
Sounds like a good night to me.
Luckily, well, I guess maybe not luckily, but I was alone, so maybe.
Well, speaking of Pitt, I saw a movie as well, World War Z with Brad Pitt.
3D?
No, we thought we were going to see the 3D, but we ended up seeing the normal film, which is fine. I'm not a 3D guy.
Yeah, same.
I want to save my eyes. I have 15/20 vision, so I want to procure that as long as I can. But that was a good movie. It was a little odd. It's one of those. It's a zombie movie, but they get such close-ups, and these things are nasty, man. So I'm not a big fan of horror movies, and I wouldn't categorize it as one of those, but it definitely gets you on the edge.
I Am Legend type, like with those guys.
Exactly. Yeah. The same kind of thing. Real fast, real aggressive, and it's pretty intense. I recommend it.
So it was more about the zombie takeover?
Yeah.
Kind of like a prequel to I Am Legend? Like how Will Smith landed in I Am Legend?
Sure, yeah.
World War Z was how it happened?
Yeah, that would make sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember watching I Am Legend, and when I got home, I forgot what year it came out, but it must have been, 2021. And I was so scared. I would pull in the driveway, got dropped off, and I darted straight for my garage door, put in the little code as fast as I could, and got my ass inside really, really fast.
Those things were nasty.
Yeah, they were.
Well, I was sitting in the movie theater, and this guy starts like making weird noises with his mouth, and all of a sudden I'm like kind of like leaning forward and just peeking behind me, and just making sure he didn't turn or anything. I was just like, wow.
So the Tigers had a good series this week, and they took 3 or 4 from Boston. There was a questionable call in Game 4 that kind of propelled the Tigers to a victory, and that was in I forgot what inning it was, but Abasilio Garcia, I think it was the 7th inning.
Yeah, 7th or 8th.
Abasilio Garcia hit a routine fly ball out to right field, and Daniel Nava of the Red Sox made the catch. And then in the exchange from the glove to his hand when he was going to go to throw it back in, he dropped it. And usually the umps will let that go, and they'll just call him out and say it was, he on the exchange, and play will go on. But for whatever reason, this ump saw it differently, and he called it an error. And Garcia reached second base, and Boston's manager Farrell came out and ended up getting ejected. And the Tigers scored 3 runs that inning, which proved to be the difference in the game. So instead of splitting 2-2, we took 3 or 4 from a good Boston team. So that's a positive. Negative is another poor performance from Justin Verlander. He went 5 innings, gave up 4 earned, 7 hits and 3 walks. So his whip was 2 and only 4 Ks. So there's a lot of people raising question if he's lost it. And I personally think that people are jumping on it way too early. He still has a sub-4 ERA, which is kind of the benchmark. And he's 8-5, and he has 110 strikeouts and 97 innings, which are both good. Not great, not JV-like, but they're still good. But the concerning thing is his WHIP is right now is 1.38, and that's the highest it's been since 2008, and it's 20 points above his career average. So he's walking a lot more people. He's allowing a lot more hits, and those are some things that he'll have to control because we'll need him at his best if we're going to make a run in October. But yeah, like I said, no need for me at least to panic. He's still Justin Verlander. He's got plenty of time to turn it around. It's only June, so.
I was reading an article on blessyouboys.com, a Tigers blog, and this guy was trying to say that he's noticed a change in Verlander's release over the past years. Back in 2011, he posted a video showing how when he pitches, he falls off more to the first base line, and recently he hasn't been doing so. So maybe there's some problem with his mechanics, possibly.
Yeah. Well, let's not forget too what happened last year. He started out 12-7, and he finished up the season 17-8. You know, so I mean, I'll take 17-8 all day, but you know, bringing up Verlander's $180 million contract, guaranteed over 7 years, upwards of $200 million, invested bonuses if he can reach that. You know, I'm not comfortable with how he's pitching and what he's doing for the Tigers. But, you know, he started out poor last year. If he can really pick it up, then I think we'll be in a good situation, especially if Scherzer keeps going.
If he's going to struggle, Verlander, I'd rather it be now than at the end of the season, because at least he still has time to correct his mechanics if that's the issue, or correct whatever he feels he needs to. He's a seasoned veteran at this point, one of the best pitchers in the game, so I still have full confidence in him. In other Tigers news, they finally cut Jose Valverde. Can I get a hallelujah?
Amen.
So it seems that Benoit will likely be option 1A, with Smiley maybe being 1B. And Jim Leland doesn't seem to want to name a permanent closer. It'll be more of a committee, but he did say that Benoit will be his number one option when he's available. So what do you guys think? Do you think the closer position is still a concern, or do you like Benoit there for the remainder of the season?
I like Benoit. I think he's shown that he can handle the responsibility, and I think we should continue to give him more opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's the committee is a good idea, and holding down the closing responsibilities. Don't want to overwork one arm all year, so I think the committee is going to work out well.
Yeah, if it can work, then I'm all for it. Last year, the Giants went through, I think, 8 closers before finally settling on one at the end of the season, and they went on to beat the Tigers in the World Series. So it has worked in the past, and we'll see how Jim Leland manages it.
Check it out.
All right, so it's our favorite part of the show where we do the live weigh-in for Danny's Weight Watch.
Your favorite, not mine.
Last week, he weighed in at a svelte 241.4.
Very svelte 241.4.
So we'll see if he can improve on
I'm
that.
I'm a little nervous about this week. I felt like I just had. I wasn't like cheating, but it was just, I don't know.
The scale smells nervousness.
Yeah.
Be confident when you step up onto that thing.
That might change my projection.
Yeah, let's get our projections.
Yeah.
So
That
where
was
were we last
spot
week?
on,
240.
right?
Yeah, Milton had it last time. Milton knows me best.
We were 241.4. I was going to give him
Can you stand up and do a little twirl?
Give it a little twirl.
Give a little caveman twirl.
And tuck the bottom of your shirt in through the top of it like a cheerleader.
Oh,
just so we
man.
can get a nice. There we go.
I feel bad for
How
you
much
at
does
home.
hair weigh?
Well, I was going to give you a 239.5,
Not looking good.
but with the shirt off and your criticism on yourself, I'm gonna stick at 141. I think there's a 0.4 loss.
Okay.
I think stress can add to the weight gain, and it sounds like you had a pretty relaxing week from what you were kind of telling me. So I'll go with I'll give you 237.
Wow. gonna speak some wisdom into this mic, and I'm pretty sure that you're chilling at 242, bro. But we'll see.
So Milt's got 242. I've got 241. D-Max at 237.
I'm with you. I got you, Danny.
All right.
Thank you. You hold that.
Dude, no, Danny, keep your underwear on. Come on.
I forgot my lightweight shorts. Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Like 245.
It's a bad week.
The suspense is killing me. Oh jeez.
Well, Danny, you've had better weeks.
Uh-oh.
The official weigh-in for this week is 244,
Ooh.
which means about a 3-pound increase.
Congratulations, Mr. Sims. You are the fattest boy in camp.
But it's okay. You know what? It was the first weekend of summer.
Yeah.
You're out there enjoying yourself poolside and soaking in the sun.
Drinking a lot of soda pops, I'm sure.
Ginger ales,
Yeah.
root beers. But it's okay. You'll bounce back.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah.
Ooh, you never want to hear that someone's
the
disappointed.
I
with
think
you.
I just got a little overconfident. Like it was melting off, and it's got a little.
I could see that.
Yeah.
At Sunday dinner, you were bragging. You were all upbeat about it.
Yeah,
The
I
paleo
know.
diet. You were talking junk to everybody.
Well, I think
Check out how skinny I am.
yeah, in that same exact voice. The other day I weighed in like it was my lowest. It was like 238, and I think that's when it just sort of went to my head. And we'll bounce back.
Yeah,
we
you'll
always bounce back.
I have confidence
Yeah.
in you. All right, Milt, you want to hit him with the poll question?
All right, this week's poll question: will the Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup in Boston tonight? 29% of our voters said yes, they will, and 71% think it's going back to Boston for Game 7. Ready? Mitch, go.
Looks good for us if the poll works out the way the voters are saying right now.
Oh, yeah. Please. I do not want to pay for these fools chicken and beer.
No.
Chicken and beer for a combined 450 beautiful pounds. You
Beautiful.
just gorgeous.
Gorgeous
pounds.
pounds.
Yeah, I mean,
Wings
Boston's
and beer. Oh wow.
Boston's not only playing for the Stanley Cup, they're also playing for Milton and my wallets. So there's a lot riding on their team.
But like I said, when in doubt, just bet on the number one. So the Heat won, obviously. You know, everybody's rooting for the Spurs, but the Heat had it. You know, they had the big three.
Oh yeah, we got to address this, Mitch. You were getting all cocky last week about the bet, and it's really.
No,
I guess I don't want to make the same mistake that you did, but.
Well, Mitch was confident. Milton was my favorite though. He reminded us that he called it in Game 6 2 weeks prior, and then he said, "You heard it here first. Please remember, your boy Milton told you." So we remember, and we just want to give a shout out to Big Milt, to Big Milt Money, and we're looking forward to Game 6 tonight, Blackhawks. We're gonna go with the victory. I'm feeling it.
Yep. So while we're on the topic of the bet, the Miami Heat, as everyone knows, won in Game 7 over the San Antonio Spurs and won their second straight NBA championship. And a lot of the talk, as expected, immediately was about LeBron's legacy as it compares to Michael Jordan and other greats, and is he the best player of all time? And personally, I think getting that second championship really will silence some of the critics to some point, because a lot of players have won one championship and they usually, ride that for their entire career. But LeBron's got more of a focus on him, so winning that second
Not one, not two.
Not three.
How many do you say?
Multiple championship. I think he stopped at 6.
Yeah.
He won 7. I think he won 7, so he would be one above Jordan. Well, let me ask you guys, as critics, has he silenced you? Are you still going to jump on LeBron and his championship number, or do you think that this kind of cements him and anything on top now is icing on the cake?
I think LeBron, he needs one more to really have me give him the double thumbs up and start talking about him and Jordan and all those guys in the same sentence.
I mean, to me, it's just funny how much the conversation, or what the conversation could have been if Game 6, if the Spurs closed out, he ended on turnover, brick.
Yeah.
And you know, we would have been talking mad junk about him, and now that he pulled it out, and, you know, he's all of a sudden a hero. So, complete 180.
He's good in my book. LeBron's LeBron, man. He came out of high school, tore it up with one of the worst teams in the league. You saw what happened when he left Cleveland. So I think I see the big three staying together. LeBron being the focal point. They really got to convince him to come back because he could kind of go anywhere else and make the same thing happen with, 3 other good players.
My dad made a good point after the Game 7. He said LeBron kind of did what Jordan had to do to get over the hump. He had to work in the offseason and find himself a jumper, you know. He couldn't just rely on dunking on everybody and driving to the lane because in Game 7, he was just going around picks and just pulling up because he saw the double team coming or whatever. So he was beating San Antonio with that jumper because the first 6 games they had him figured out. They were forcing him to shoot and daring him to shoot, and he wasn't coming through. But Game 7, he was stroking it.
Okay, Milton, you want to hit us with your wife of the week?
Absolutely. My wife of the week this week is Maria Francisca Perello, and she is a girlfriend of your boy Rafael Nadal. Had a tough day today, the U.S. Open. Got ousted in the first round, but that's why I picked Maria to help cheer this brother up. They've been dating for 7 years now. They met in his hometown of Manacor, Mallorca, Spain.
Marroca.
And she's somewhat mysterious. She doesn't like the limelight. She's real low-key. She's believed to be working full-time at an insurance company in their hometown. And Rafael is quoted as saying that when he's not playing tennis and wants to unwind, he just chills with Maria. And she doesn't travel to all the tournaments, so she stays in Spain for the most part. And you guys see her. What do you guys think? She's looking good?
I give her 10.
10!
It's hard for me to look at a body like that after this week's weigh-in.
You'll look like that one day, Danny. Don't worry.
But yeah, I think I chose her as the wife of the week because she will definitely cheer him up. She's gorgeous. He's just got to get back to Spain and kind of get his head together, practice playing on grass because he's a beast on clay, but we saw on grass he struggled today. Kyle Sloan from Royal Oak, Michigan tweeted, I hope you guys talk about Nadal choking in the first round of Wimbledon.
Yeah, for those of you that missed it, Rafael Nadal lost in the first round of Wimbledon to the 135th ranked player, Steve Darcis, and it was his first loss in the singles Grand Slam first round.
You know why, right?
No.
What's that?
Maria was sending him some naughty texts. He's like, all right, I got to get back home.
Oh, shoot.
Didn't have his head on the game. John McEnroe said today, Rafael Nadal is the best tennis player of all time.
Wow.
So that's a big endorsement. But he did say he's got to really focus on playing on grass because he's just not as mobile, and he just looked uncomfortable out there.
Nadal is sick. I mean, I didn't even watch tennis. He's like the Tiger Woods of tennis. He's one of the reasons I started watching. I think he was 16 when he came on the scene and just started killing everybody. So between him and Federer, and you have Djokovic now coming up in the ranks.
Serena and that Butte.
Oh dang! Now we're on a totally different topic right now, and I like it.
That's why
Did you hear about that drama between Serena and Maria Sharapova?
Yeah,
calling out each other for their boyfriends or something like that.
Yeah.
Who would win in a fight? Obviously.
I don't think we have to discuss that.
Yeah.
Does Serena have one arm or both arms or no arms? Right. I think in all situations she wins.
Yeah. I don't know. Never underestimate the Eastern European, man. That's get down.
We talked last week about how Robert Kraft got his ring stolen right off his finger.
Yeah, they're sneaky.
Yeah. They are.
Very, very sneaky. Thursday is the NBA draft, and the Pistons pick at number 8. and they have plenty of holes to fill, notably at shooting guard and small forward, and potentially point guard, depending on how you feel about Brandon Knight.
BK7.
For me, I don't know if he's a true point guard. Actually, I flat out don't think he's a true point guard. I see him as a combo guard suited for a six-man role, which would be okay with me. He could be like a young Ben Gordon, come off the bench, provide 25 minutes at point guard and shooting guard to give the starters a blow. But where we really struggled last year was at shooting guard and small forward. Kyle Singler is a smart player, but he seems more suited as a role player coming off the bench. He shouldn't be guarding NBA small forwards. Shooting guard was Rodney Stuckey, Brandon Knight at times after the Jose Calderon trade, just kind of a revolving door. And we really need somebody that can attack the basket off the dribble, set up the big guys, and we also need a shooter, someone who can shoot threes. There's not really a lot of three-point threats on the roster. So at number 8, my number 1 choice, and this may seem biased and homer, but I really would like to see Trey Burke, because having a true point guard who is a leader and who can set up Greg Monroe and Andre Drummond would be a great asset for this team. I think where Burke excels is at that high pick and roll, and Monroe has a skill set where he would set the pick for Burke, and he could either pick and pop or pick and roll to the basket, and that could be a great duo with Drummond as the offensive rebound threat for any putbacks or alley-oop throws, passes. But I don't know if Burke is going to be available at number 8. So if he's off the board, I like this kid out of Georgia named Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He's a 6'6" shooting guard from Georgia, and he's just a pure scorer. He shoots the three well. He slashes well. He's not a great athlete, but he's a good athlete. And he was the SEC Player of the Year, which I know isn't saying much because SEC in basketball isn't nearly what it is in football. He was a leader for Georgia. He plays great defense from the film I saw of him. So I think he would immediately step in and fill that shooter, scoring wing player that the Pistons desperately need.
What about Victor Oladipo?
I like Oladipo. I have a hard time seeing him fall into number 8. I also think he's limited as it is right now. I'm not saying he can't improve, but right now he seems more of an athlete, wing defender who's going to hustle and get on a fast breaks, and he really needs somebody to set him up. He's not a guy who you can give the ball to him and he'll set other people up.
Right, that's true.
But he's a tremendous athlete and he works very hard, so he'll be a good fit wherever he goes because he can play defense right away, and he'll work on his offensive skills as he gets older in his career.
He's going to be a top 10 pick. I don't know. I like him with the Pistons. He brings out the best in all players. He's able to drive, he's able to shoot, and his dishing ability is amazing. And like you said, his defense is great. I mean, he's, I've heard it compare all year to Dwayne Wade. I mean, his playing ability is up there. It's definitely above par, but I just think the way he carries himself, he got a little too cocky for my taste later down in the tournament. But I just liked him overall, real humble guy, and just brought his A game every day and always hustled. And I just really like seeing that out of a player.
Yeah, I mean, he's a smart kid, has a good head on his shoulders. Doesn't really have that outside jump shot, though.
No.
And that's something we really need.
And then other possibilities are Otto Porter from Georgetown, who I think is now going to go top 3.
Yeah.
I actually, if I had the number 1 pick, I would probably go with him over Nerlens Noel or Alex Len from Maryland, just because Porter has an all-around game. He's got great size for the 3 position. Much like Oladipo, he's a hard worker, has a good head on his shoulders, and he's just a more polished prospect at this point. You know what you're going to get with him, where Noel, you don't know what his impact is going to be because he's not like Anthony Davis or Dwight Howard, where he is going to be able to come in and impact immediately. I think he's going to need some time. Even I know he's injured, but even without the injury, I think that he would have needed some time to kind of develop. I think he weighed in at 210 pounds, so he's going to have to add a lot of weight onto his frame to be able to handle the grown men power forward and centers in the NBA. And Alex Len, he's been rapidly rising up the boards. He's tall. I think he's somewhere between 7'1" and 7'2". He's very thin, and he'll need to pack on some weight if he's going to be able to hang with these guys. So Otto Porter for me is the number one pick if I'm in that spot.
Yeah, Bleacher Report just came out with a mock draft today, and they have C.J. McCollum from Lehigh coming to the Pistons.
I like him too because he's a scorer and a shooter, but my only problem with him is I don't think he'd be a great fit for us because it would basically give us two combo guards.
Yeah,
at
he
the
actually
one and the two.
He reminds me a lot of Brandon Knight.
Yeah, he's 6'3", and he's not a pure point guard. He's not big enough to be a shooting guard. So that would kind of give us two of the same players, which I think we need to avoid because we really need a wing player that can be that scorer or a true point guard who can be that distributor.
I think it's Burke or bust. I think that Burke's the second coming of Chauncey Billups, and if we drafted him, I feel like he could run the team, he could have leadership, and he could just make the Pistons offense a well-oiled machine, kind of like how Chauncey ran the show.
We've got a question from Mike in Windsor. Do you see LeBron James winning more titles than Jordan? I don't. Not more. I could see him winning 6, but that's kind of a hard question to answer because his contract is up in 2 years. So we don't really know where he's going to be, who's going to be surrounding him. So that's a tough question to answer because if he goes back to another team like Cleveland, absolutely no. But if he does another big 3 thing or he attracts more players to come to Miami with him if he stays there, then I could see him getting close in that 5-6 range. I don't think he'll get more, though. To win 7 would mean he'd have to win 5 more, and he's 28. He'll be 29 next season, so he'd have to win 5 more by the time he's 34.
Pretty much
35.
has to win 5 more in a row.
Right, so I don't really see that happening.
So I came across this video of Dirk Nowitzki, who is the star forward for the Dallas Mavericks. He was playing in this charity soccer event over in his home country of Germany. And he was dribbling the ball down the sideline very awkwardly, as you can imagine, a 7-footer playing soccer. And one of the opposing players comes up and tries to tackle him and completely misses. And Nowitzki, as a joke, just falls down and tries to sell it. And he ended up getting the call, which was kind of funny because I'll post the video on the Facebook group because it wasn't even close. And Dirk was asked about it after the game and basically said that it's gotten pretty ridiculous, even though it's a part of the game. And I agree. It's pretty ridiculous that half the game is being an actor. It gives soccer sort of a bad name, and if it's ever going to grow in American culture, you got to sort of get rid of that aspect of the game to some extent. Thank you, Dirk. Thank you for pointing that out, and that's why you're my hero of the week.
But Nowitzki, while we're on that note, in 2011, I just was reminded, I was reading an article about when the Miami Heat won. They went to this really popular club in Miami, and they were comped. The Miami Heat team was comped $100,000 in alcohol. And they related that back to when the Dallas Mavericks won in 2011, and Mark Cuban paid for everything. I think the bill was it was like $150,000, $200,000. So, big ups to Mark Cuban for outdoing the Miami Heat in their own territory. But what happened is Mark Cuban ordered a $90,000 bottle of alcohol. It was a 15-liter bottle of champagne, $90,000, and he went to pay for it. And they swiped his credit card, and they said it was denied. So he got on the phone, he called the credit card company, and he said, "Hey, this is this is Cuban. We just won a championship. Can I spend some money? And within 5 minutes, the credit card was cleared and he was good to go. And they also commented that he did leave a 22% tip. So just a class act guy in general.
Nice.
Yeah.
Last night, Danny Green, I don't know if it might have been last night or 2 nights ago, but Danny Green was spotted at a bar dapping up LeBron, and the tabloids ran with it and were saying, like, why is he there celebrating with LeBron? He just lost to him and all that stuff. And LeBron went on Twitter and had Danny Green's back and said he wasn't out partying with me and my crew. He just saw me at the bar, came over, shook my hand, said congratulations, and walked away and went back to his group, and he was not partying with us or anything. So class act on both sides there. Danny Green spotting LeBron and having the courage to go up to him and congratulate him, and then LeBron on the other end having his back when the tabloids tried to harp on Danny Green, saying no, he wasn't with us, he was just being a good guy and congratulating me.
Gotta love the media.
Yeah. So maybe the biggest happening right now in the sports world is the investigation of New England Patriots tight end Aaron Hernandez. They just issued a warrant for his arrest, but I don't think they've gone through with the arrest yet. They're still looking for evidence and to make sure they cover all their bases before they go through and actually arrest him.
Yeah, the first warrant was for obstruction of justice. The cops asked for his cell phone and a couple other things, and he smashed a cell phone. And then whatever else they asked for, he
security tapes to his house. Yeah, he destroyed them. I think.
Yeah.
He also hired a cleaning service to clean his house before it was searched, so that's just shady right there.
But you know what really chaps my ass? You have a guy like Aaron Hernandez who's getting coached by Bill Belichick. He's getting the ball thrown to him by Tom Brady. He just signed a $40 million contract for 7 years. He's on the starting lineup for the New England Patriots, playing on the opposite side of Gronkowski, arguably one of the best tight ends in the league right now. Aaron Hernandez is arguably one of the best tight ends in the league right now. And for him to put himself in that situation is ridiculous.
Aaron Hernandez's attorney just released a statement. It says, over the past week, our client Aaron Hernandez has been the subject of a relentless flood of rumors, misinformation, and false reports in the media. These include the repeated publication of a supposedly confirmed report that an arrest warrant had been issued for Aaron, a report that was exposed as untrue. None of these false reports come from official sources, and we appreciate the professionalism and restraint shown by the Bristol County District Attorney's Office to date with regard to its public statements while investigation is underway. Out of respect for that ongoing investigation, we will continue to refrain from commenting on its substance. That just got tweeted out.
Something interesting I just read today. Guess who your boy Kevin Durant just signed with as an agent?
Jay Sizzle?
Yeah, I was going to say Jay-Z.
Yes, it's the Jigga Man.
Yeah.
He gets another athlete to come over to Rock Nation Sports.
Oh,
it's starting to get
Who has he
scary
gotten
now.
so far? He got like someone like
He's got
Dale
Robinson
Earnhardt Jr.
Cano, Geno Smith, Skylar Diggins, who's a guard in the WNBA, and it's rumored that Victor Cruz is going to sign.
I thought like Dale Earnhardt Jr. signed. No, or is that just maybe a joke?
That would be
It's
amazing.
possible. I mean, now
that's what we call bridging the gap right there. If Dale Earnhardt signed with Jay-Z, that'd be great.
I think that was a joke. I don't think that's real. I'd like to just say something to my fan club out there. I will be better. You deserve better.
Danny, give me a goal. What's your goal for next week? Put it out there, man.
I'd like to break the 240 gap. I'd like to be 239.
that's what I thought.
we believe in you, big guy.
Do we want to put anything on this 239?
No, I don't think he needs any added pressure. He's already got his picture on the Facebook group. I think that's pressure and incentive enough right there.
And if the Blackhawks going to win, he's got to put down a mad amount of wins.
Oh, that's true. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Mitch's Man Cave. Go out and enjoy your summer, and make sure you tune in next Tuesday. For the Cavemen, I'm your host, Mitch Weiss, and you may now exit the Man Cave.